Are we on? Ah, okay, great. So we just got a pile of stuff in, including a couple of old Reverb. We got 3 older Fender tanks. We got 1 older airline tank, which doesn't do the reverb quite as well, but if you're into reverb, there's nothing like the Fender tank. They actually licensed the reverb from Hammond organ, but made these nifty reverb tanks, and they're kind of rare because, to be honest, it takes as much money to make a reverb tank as it does an amp head. You still have transformers and tubes, and they're hand wired. These are both older reverb tanks. Best we can tell right off the bat, we just got these in. They're both a 64. This blackface one with its white knobs, and then this brown Tolex one with its slightly later wheat grill and its brown knobs. And then we also just got in this Showman amplifier, and Showman amplifiers are same thing as a twin without reverb. This being a brown panel white knob, you know it's pre-CBS. But wait, that's a black covering on it? Yes, it's been painted. Now, anyone might wonder today, since these Showmans get real money for being hand-wired all-tube amplifiers, why anybody today would paint it. But back then, if you owned a white Showman that you bought in '61 and were playing in 1965, '66, you might do what this fella did, is paint your white to the more modern black. Now, in black, you are contemporary. In retrospect, that was probably not the smartest thing to do. So you can take off the paint with paint remover, but a little bit will always be stuck on the white. If you're looking for a Showman amplifier, this is, again, a brown Master Presence Showman, and that is the first one. They did make the dual Showman. The difference between the Showman and the dual Showman is the Showman had 1 speaker, and the dual Showman, you know, so they were bigger. There's also a little bit of impedance difference on that too with the dual Showman. They're notoriously big, fat, clean amps, and really designed to be a loud amp for on stage. It's a real luxury sound, especially the single Showman, because its impedance and its output is a little less than the full 85 watts of a Showman. And you have treble, middle, or treble, bass, and then speed intensity, and the presence control. The middle control didn't come out until later on the Showmans and dual Showmans. This is a really cool amp. Different grill cloth, because it would have had this type of grill cloth or the more oxblood grill cloth, but it has the flat panel logo on it. This also has a line out. So this, because it's got a line out, which is potentially good for you, this amplifier will be relatively cheap compared to other Showmans. And again, for volume, they just have the bass response because they got those 4 power tubes. Those power tubes running those even order harmonics, unlike an amp that leans more in its preamp section, which is all odd order distortive harmonics. This has that. But it also, we have this reverb tank. They'll have a dwell control, which is the amount of reverb, how that reverb dwells and sustains, and then a mixer, how much of the reverb or how much of the dry sound, as well as a tone control, and the tone control get quite bright. And you can make it a little more subtle than you want. We're playing through a single 15 white Fender cabinet. It's got a JBL in it. You get that really clean sound, but if you've been looking for a Showman, we just got one in. We got 3 reverb tanks. The last thing I'm going to show you here is when you do use your reverb tanks, there is a brake back here. And this brake is meant to push against the tank to hold it into place so it doesn't go rattling around. Your reverb won't work if you have that brake pressed in. Otherwise you have to pull it out away from the reverb tank. It actually anchors the tank, and that is a very mechanical device. These all come with a newer foot switch, and I'll be pricing them soon, but I just got them in like 20 minutes ago. Wanted to share this, and yes, I'm playing through a new Nash Jazzmaster, and on that I'll let you go back to what you were doing. Thank you.